Good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. We're going to be talking about garlic today, about garlic and immune health. But this is garlic, and this is typically when you take off the skin, this is what you get. It's got various layers to it, but it's a very, very powerful medicinal nutrient. When we look at garlic, one of the things we'll learn about it is that it's been wildly cultivated and used for culinary and medicinal purposes. And the use of it dates back 2700 BC, so that's nearly 4700 years ago, in China, in Sumeria, India, and Egyptian cultures. And the medicinal effects of garlic are attributed to its organic sulfur compounds. So you can look at the number of articles. I think out of all the articles we've talked about, it's the longest, 233 years. So it's been studied for a long time, 246 clinical trials, extremely well researched. So if you look at all that data, how do we bring it together? And as many of you know, I always talk about CytoSolve, the technology that I created, which is part of one of our enterprises, CytoSolve, which is really a way that we can understand at the molecular level how combinations of medicines work. We can actually understand how food is medicine. And what we can do with all this data is we take all that data, we extract out the relevant pieces related to immune health with CytoSolve, then we figure out the molecular mechanisms, and then we can make the presentation to you. I wanted to let you know that we use the technology here. We've helped many, many companies over the last 16 years, a lot of smart, innovative companies, but we decided with all the mathematical models we've created, why don't we try to use this to compute the best product we could think of from the science out there for reducing pain and inflammation, pain and discomfort. And that resulted in us creating MV25 using CytoSolve. We're gonna have more products that are gonna be coming, but let me just show you what MV25 is about for those of you who haven't heard about it. But this is using CytoSolve in a beneficial way, not to just do research, but find combination therapies.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids. And I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand, very, very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
It's clean food certified. It's made in the US. If you go to vashiva.com, right on the shop, you'll click there, or you can go right to mv25.life, either way. And then from there, you can click on the bottle and you can order. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 6 bottles for free. Please take advantage of it because first of all, it's gonna help you, it's gonna help our movement, and it really supports the fact that we wanna take science-based approaches to natural products. So what is garlic? Well, garlic is 105 different compounds. It's got a lot of non-volatile compounds, minerals, vitamins, saponins, phenolic compounds. The volatile compounds, which means the ones that have the potent power, or the organosulfur compounds. Now, the biological effects, garlic are multifold. Garlic has many, many different effects. It's got antioxidant effects. It's got hypolipidemic, which means it can break down fat. It's got immunomodulatory activities, which we're going to focus on. It's got anti-diabetic effect, antimicrobial, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and antiparasitic. It's also got anti-mutagenic and anti-carcinogenic activity. Anti-hypertensive, lowers blood pressure, and anti-thrombotic activity, very good for your cardiovascular system. A range of different biological effects. So what are the health benefits? Well, it's a blood clot activator. It boosts metabolism and assists detoxification. Cures athlete's foot. Anti-inflammatory properties, effective painkiller. Averter, cures respiratory problems, rejuvenates skin, relieves stress and fatigue, and blood clot activator. So one of the things you need to be concerned about, food is medicine. So the problem is many people don't understand this aspect. They just look at the world as black or white. So you have to be careful with garlic. The dosaging matters, and we'll get to that. Obviously, you don't want to eat this kind of garlic raw. You're going to burn your stomach out. You got to be careful. That's why typically people are careful in how they mix it with other things. Ghee, think about Italians, what they do, they make garlic bread. They put hopefully some raw clarified butter, and then they fry it in it. So you make sure your body can absorb it. Right? So there are people who say, oh, garlic is good, garlic is bad. We have to take a systems approach to any of these things. These are medicines, and you have to be attentive and respect them as medicines. There you go. So a lot of different effects. Now, as many of you know, I like to pound away to everyone the importance of the immune system. What is the immune system? This is the old model of the immune system. This is the updated model of the immune system in a lecture that I delivered at the National Science Foundation in November of 2019. You see, this model of the immune system just says you got a pathogen, you only have the innate immune system, which tries to eat away the pathogen, and then it calls upon the adaptive immune system, which generates antibodies. But what you notice is that your body also has the interferon system, which is rarely talked about. The interferon system is extremely powerful because what the interferon system does, first of all, it's interferon's present in every cell in your body. So when your body's under attack, during the first 8 hours to 72 hours, your body has the opportunity to really unleash the interferons long before the antibody system. And those interferons, if you have a strong immune system, will go and actually have a whole range of ways that they upregulate nearly 1,000 genes, and they activate your natural killer cells and their cytotoxic T cells. The point I'm making is the immune system is not just antibodies. That's a little part of it. The more important part of it is this whole orchestra of many other molecules and subsystems. And my advice to you guys is to recognize the immune system beyond just antibodies. So there we go. So now when we look at the effects of garlic on the immune system, what do you find? Well, first of all, garlic has antioxidative properties. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and the organosulfur compounds modulate the immune cells and the cytokines from the innate as well as the adaptive through these. And the organosulfur compounds also help mitigate allergy, and the organosulfur compounds mitigate several diseases: cardiovascular, obesity, gastric ulceration, and cancer through that system. So if you look at the bottom here, these are the activities that organosulfur compounds in garlic help: antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. And what you can see here is that the organosulfur compounds, which look like this, look what they do. They do three very powerful things. They promote natural killer cells. The natural killer cells are powerful cells in your body that literally go gobble up infected cells. They go attack viruses, NK cells. Interferon systems drive the activation of that also. Then you have right here, you have your gamma delta T cells, okay? These are your T cells which support the proliferation of your innate immune cells too. And you have macrophages. So all of these three, your interferon system, your innate, and your adaptive system. Now, the proliferation of these innate immune cells leads to following activities of garlic. So because of these organosulfur compounds, because it activates these multiple cells in your system, you get antimicrobial effects, you get antibacterial effects, you get antiviral and antifungal. This is why garlic is so powerful. From the adaptive immune system, look what garlic does. Garlic innervates the Th2 cells. Now, garlic compounds such as ajoine promotes activation of anti-inflammatory cytokine IL-10. IL-10 is needed for the proliferation of anti-inflammatory Th2 cells. And the Th2 cells stimulate B cells to produce interglobulin A. And IgA is an antibody that plays a crucial role in the immune function of mucous membranes. Very, very good for colds, and as you feel your mucous membranes being affected, and you got to follow your gut instincts and listen to your body. But you can see the organosulfur compounds really support your immune system to not only what we talked about, the NK cells, which are in the innate immune system, but they also support your adaptive immune system to call upon your B cells to make those antibodies. So they really activate your system to wake up. The other thing here, they modulate inflammation. Look, when you get sick, before you get sick, you want to make sure your innate immune system is strong, your interferon system is being called on, your adaptive system is being called on. But You don't want when your body's weak, remember, it's not the virus or the bacteria that kills you. It's your body's overreaction, because each of these viruses and bacteria go land in different tissues, as I've spoken about. The coronavirus typically likes to go to your epithelial. Now, if your immune system's normal, you'll feel it, you'll get a little sniffles, your body fights it, and you're done. But if your immune system is weak, it'll overreact. And that overreaction creates inflammation and a cytokine storm, and your body is attacking itself. That's where you get harmed. So the other important part of garlic is this. Garlic also has a modulatory effect. It's like, I keep saying, this is like putting shock absorbers. If you didn't have shock absorbers on your car and you hit a pothole, boom, your head goes up through the roof, your car gets damaged. But when you have shock absorbers, you can go through a pothole or a crisis, and your body knows how to manage it in a beautiful way. Same thing with garlic. Garlic provides you the shock absorbers. So you can see the way it does that is garlic does a two-pronged approach. Here's a cytokine storm. So garlic basically stops the upregulation, inhibits NF-kappa beta, which will lead to these 5 inflammatory cytokines. So garlic stops that. It stops IL-6, TNF-alpha, IL-12, MCP-1, and IL-1 beta. So this modulates the cytokine storm. But look what garlic also does. It inhibits the enzymes such as ERK 1 and 2 that are involved in inflammatory signaling. There's many different molecules that cause this, but the organosulfur compounds in garlic typically hit the ERK 1 and 2. So two-pronged effect. It modulates the cytokine storm, so this doesn't go out of hand, becomes haywire, but it also knocks down ERK, which causes inflammation. And then allergies. A lot of people, allergy season, at least in the East Coast, is coming. For those of you in different parts of the world, seasons may be different, but allergy season, and by the way, allergies come there's a whole theory when you didn't expose yourself to allergens when you were young. But anyway, allergy season is coming in the Northeast, and look at garlic. One of the important things it does is garlic also modulates that. And the way it does is garlic mitigates the allergic response by reducing the production of histamines. So when your body's under allergic attack, your body produces these histamines in the basophils, another cell. And this histamine is what starts you sneezing and wheezing, etc. So now histamines can also be released in antigen-specific way, meaning particular shellfish or particular pollen or nuts. My dear mom, if she even ate a little bit of a shellfish or was even exposed to it, she would have a massive allergic reaction because it was the upregulation of those histamines. So that's something we need to think about, another way garlic affects. And by the way, here are all the different diseases modulated that are affected by the immune system. But anyway, what you find here is from a systems approach, garlic supports the immune system. And the immune system, when it's supported, has been, for example, gastric ulceration. Garlic oil has been shown to lower ulceration by lowering the oxidative stress and the pro-inflammatory cytokines IL-10 and 12. Then obesity, garlic modulates the low-grade inflammation. So, there's a direct link between obesity and inflammation. So in that case, garlic modulates and reduces IL-6 and MCP-1 and 2 in human pre-adipocytes. Adipocytes are the fat cells. So when your body's undergoing inflammation, it's really weird. Your adipose tissue, composed of adipocytes, starts releasing these chemicals, which just create more and more fat cells. So you get fatter. But what garlic does, it comes and inhibits these particular inflammatory cytokines. Then cardiovascular disease. Garlic promotes antioxidant, anti-inflammatory environment, thereby lowering arterial sclerosis and hypertension. Cardiovascular disease, CVD. And then look at the effects that allicin from garlic has. It induces apoptosis through the JNK pathway and mitochondrial Bax translocation. And I'll explain what that is. An aged garlic extract increases the cytotoxicity of T cell lineage, which in turn targets a cancer cell. So what do I mean by that? So allicin from the garlic induces apoptosis. So cancer has this unfortunate effect where cells that are supposed to die, cell death is known as apoptosis, okay? Apoptosis, big word, you can use it with your friends. And what garlic does, it induces apoptosis. You're supposed to have About 10 billion cells every day should die, and 10 billion cells should be reborn. But guess what? These cancer cells don't die. Okay? So garlic induces apoptosis, but garlic also supports the cytotoxic T cells to go eat away at the tumor cells. So that's what we're sharing here. Now, finishing up garlic, if you take that Eastern approach, look what garlic does. It stabilizes transport, it stabilizes digestion, and it stabilizes kapha, which means make sure you don't increase weight, supports digestion, and supports the bowel movement, these kinds of processes. So garlic is a very interesting herb which supports all of these processes. How much should you take? Well, the research, again, you should talk to your doctor. This is not a medical show. 4 grams of fresh garlic, 800 milligrams of dried garlic. The dried garlic is more potent, okay? You need less of it. The fresh garlic, this is typically what I like to use. For cardiovascular benefits, according to Reed et al., it's about 1,200 to 2,400 of aged garlic extract. You can find this in supplements. For immunomodulation, which really supports the modulation of the immune system, Percival says around 2,500 milligrams per day of the aged garlic. So in summary, garlic activates the cells of the innate and adaptive. It inhibits inflammatory enzymes such as ERK1 and 2, and as well as the cytokines involved in the cytokine storm. It mitigates allergic reactions, and then garlic has many, many other values: gastric ulceration, cardiovascular disease. Someone says, Dr. Shiva, why are there not more intellectuals standing up against the pandemic? I'll do a whole show on that. Gulid, watch it. It's going to be a great talk I'm going to do. And then metabolic diseases and cancer. There you go, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Be the light.